Now, joy is a funny thing, isn't it? Joy is what motivates faith. If faith is what conquers fear, then what is it that motivates faith? What is it that happens in your heart when you begin to see the gospel and meditate on the gospel that Jesus endured the pain of the cross so that I could be forgiven of sin? That gospel infuses your heart with joy. And so you read through the Gospels and you look at the joy of Jesus. The joy of Jesus is what enabled him to have compassion on the crowds. The joy of Jesus enabled him to do the will of God even when it wasn't convenient. Hebrews 12:1-2 says that for Jesus, it was the joy that was set before him that enabled him to endure the cross, despising the shame. So basically what that means is that Jesus looked at the horrific pain of the cross and the shame of the cross, and he said, because of the joy, he said, it's nothing. I'm more than willing to do what I got to do. So what was it? What was his joy? Well, his joy was seeing people like you and me becoming his bride. His joy was his bride. It was, you could call it the church, you could call it the elect, you could call it all that if you wanted. But the truth of the matter is, if you're a Christian, the reason that Jesus despised the shame of the cross and did what he did, the joy that was motivating him was seeing you become a believer. It was seeing you become a better lover, a better spouse, a better parent, a more generous giver, a selfless, sacrificial person working for the good of others. It was seeing you become compassionate and not just become a saint, but become holy and eventually become glorified and loving him with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength. It was that vision that was the joy of Jesus which pushed him through the cross. And the question is, every believer has to come to terms with this at one point or another in their life. You have to come to terms with, you have to answer, will my joy be his joy? Will I share in his joy? Here's the servant, enter into the joy of your master. What's the joy of our master? The joy of our master is that we would recklessly, with abandon, not only steward the temporal with gratitude, but to invest in the eternal with abandon, that we would hold loose the things of this world and invest all of it for the sake of other men and women coming to faith in Jesus Christ. That our all-consuming passion, instead of it being the American dream or retirement, our all-consuming passion would be seeing other men and women in India and Romania and Tanzania, Abilene, Texas, all around the big country, that we would see them come to faith in Christ, that our joy would be his joy. And I'm telling you, when that happens in your heart, the grip that you have on your stuff loosens. And the opinion of other people about you begins to lessen in importance. And your grip on other people becomes very tight. And you begin to invest wisely in the kingdom. So what's your joy? What's God calling you to risk? And where is your joy?